Steve Johnson cleared Johnny DiMera's name. A new mission begins on Days of Our Lives as the week of June 30, 2025, unfolds. Fan favorite Steve "Patch" Johnson returns to the spotlight, and not just for old times' sake. With his signature determination, loyalty, and grit, Steve reopens the doors of Black Patch, the once dormant private investigation firm, for one powerful reason: to save Johnny DiMera from a terrible injustice. Yes, you read that right. Right. Johnny, son of E.J. DiMera and grandson of Stefano, is behind bars, wrongly accused of a crime that's torn his family apart. But this is Salem, and when an innocent man is framed and the truth is clouded by lies, there's only one man fit to cut through the chaos and restore justice. His name is Steve Johnson. Johnny DiMera's arrest rocks Salem. It's been an emotional roller coaster for Johnny DiMera, and the ride isn't over yet. This past week, viewers watched in disbelief as Johnny confessed to Marlena Evans and Roman Brady. With heavy guilt and shaking hands, he admitted he'd taken a gun, confronted his father E.J., and came dangerously close to pulling the trigger. But in a moment of clarity, Johnny stepped back. He didn't shoot. He handed the weapon to E.J. and walked away. And yet, despite his honesty, despite his remorse, Johnny is arrested. Detective Jada Hunter arrives at the worst possible moment, just as Johnny and E.J. begin to reconcile. Their relationship, long strained by pride and mistakes, had begun to heal. But before that fragile peace could blossom, the law swooped in. Johnny DiMera is taken away in handcuffs. His crime? Being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and being the wrong DiMera to trust. A call for help, and a hero rises. News of Johnny's arrest spreads quickly through Salem, shaking the town's foundations. Chanel Dupree DiMera, Raven Bowens, his wife, is devastated. Marlena is furious, and terrified. Roman is heartbroken. But amid the grief and confusion, one voice cuts through the noise. Marlena turns to the one man she knows will never let an innocent man suffer: Steve Johnson. Steve has been in semi-retirement since John Black's tragic passing. After years of adventure and heartbreak, he had quietly shut down Black Patch, his beloved PI agency that he once co-founded with John. He wanted peace. He wanted rest. But now, peace is no longer an option. This is personal. Johnny is not just a client. He's John's nephew. He's family. And Steve Johnson never turns his back on family. Black Patch reopens. A new chapter begins with Marlena's plea echoing in his ears. Steve dusts off the old office keys, reopens the doors of Black Patch, and sets up shop once again. The once quiet office space is now alive with purpose. Out comes the old leather file folders, the wall maps, the case photos, and of course, Steve's signature black eye patch and trench coat. It's a moment that Days of Our Lives fans have waited for. The return of Patch, the investigator, the fighter, the man who will chase the truth no matter where it leads. And this time, the stakes couldn't be higher. Digging for the truth: who really shot E.J. DiMera? Steve begins his investigation with a single, unwavering belief: Johnny is innocent. He retraces Johnny's steps, interviews witnesses, and combs through surveillance footage. And then, he stumbles upon something chilling. A hidden memory card. It's the same evidence that E.J. had once reviewed in secret, containing footage that may finally shed light on what really happened that fateful night. The footage shows Johnny confronting E.J., but stopping short of pulling the trigger. Moments later, someone else enters the frame. Small. Slight. Unexpected. A child. Rachel Black. Yes, that Rachel, daughter of Kristen DiMera and Brady Black. The same Rachel who has recently been spiraling emotionally, overwhelmed by trauma, grief, and confusion. Steve watches in stunned silence as the video shows Rachel picking up the gun and firing. A shocking truth, the real shooter revealed for Steve, this is no longer just about clearing Johnny. It's about protecting Rachel. It's about holding the right people accountable without destroying the life of a child who may not fully understand the consequences of her actions. Armed with the evidence, Steve meets with EJ. The father is shaken. He remembers now, flashes from that night. His mind putting together what his heart didn't want to believe. EJ realizes that his son is innocent, and his niece is the real culprit. Now, the question is, what will EJ do with this truth? Justice for Johnny, but at what cost? With Steve's help, the charges against Johnny are dropped. The DiMera heir is released from jail, but the emotional scars remain. Chanel embraces her husband. Marlena breathes a sigh of relief. Roman offers Steve a quiet "thank you." But this isn't the end of the story. The revelation about Rachel sends shockwaves through the DiMera and Black families. Kristen is cornered. Brady is torn. And once again, Salem must reckon with the consequences of secrets kept too long. Final thoughts: a hero returns, a family torn. For viewers who followed Days of Our Lives for decades, the return of Steve Johnson as a full-fledged private investigator is more than just a nostalgia trip. It's a reminder of what the show does best. Telling emotionally rich stories about loyalty, justice, and the cost of doing what's right. Steve's decision to reopen Black Patch isn't just a career move, it's a tribute to his late friend, John Black. It's an act of love. Of courage. Of purpose. And it's a promise. As long as there are lies to uncover, and innocent people in danger, Steve "Patch" Johnson will be there, eye patch, trench coat, and all, ready to fight for truth in the heart of Salem. Marlena and Brady confront the truth about Rachel, secrets, sleep-talking, and a child in crisis on Days of Our Lives for decades. Days of Our Lives has captivated audiences with layered characters, family tension, and emotional revelations that unfold like waves. This week, the tide rises once more, this time with a quiet but powerful conversation between Marlena Evans and Brady Black about the well-being of young Rachel. The storyline picks up with Marlena unexpectedly encountering Brady outside his bar. She isn't smiling. She isn't calm. In fact, she's upset, deeply so. And for once, it's not just as a psychiatrist or as Salem's trusted confidant, it's as Rachel's grandmother, a woman who feels blindsided by the secrets that have been kept from her. A grandmother's frustration and a father's regret. As Marlena steps out onto the sidewalk, phone in hand, she comes face to face with Brady. The timing couldn't be more perfect, or more painful. She tells him, sharply, that she was just about to call. She needed to talk about Rachel. And about Johnny. But instead of a quiet conversation, what follows is a scolding. Why didn't Brady tell her the truth sooner? Marlena's voice wavers between disappointment and disbelief as she reveals how she found out about the latest twist in Rachel's emotional state, not through a family meeting, not even through a phone call. But because Rachel spoke the truth in her sleep. As any parent or grandparent knows, that's not how one should learn that a child is carrying a secret so dark, it haunts them even in dreams. Now Marlena knows. Brady knows. Kristen knows. Even Roman and Kate know. And EJ, well, he believes his own son tried to kill him. It's all too much. So who did it? The question that haunts them all. Marlena and Brady take a moment to breathe. The streets of Salem may be calm, but the air between them is filled with tension. There is one question at the heart of it all, one that Marlena poses softly but seriously: if Johnny didn't shoot EJ, then who did? Brady doesn't answer immediately. Neither of them does. They share the same worry, that the answer may be a name neither of them wants to say aloud. But Marlena's mind is sharp. She's seen enough fractured memories, trauma responses, and suppressed guilt to know when something isn't right. Rachel is carrying something heavy. Too heavy. And perhaps the truth is that Rachel herself may have been the one who pulled the trigger. Marlena's plea for compassion and caution despite her concerns. Marlena knows one thing for certain: it is not fair for Rachel to continue bearing the burden of a lie, especially if it's been placed on her shoulders by misunderstanding or fear. Marlena and Brady agree, Rachel shouldn't have to keep this secret, whatever it is, and especially not alone. That's when Marlena makes an important observation: EJ believes Johnny is the shooter. But Johnny has said, firmly, that he didn't do it. And Marlena believes him. Brady nods slowly. If Johnny comes forward, he says, maybe Rachel won't have to testify. It's a small ray of hope. A path forward. But it's one they'll need to walk carefully. Marlena warns Brady, as only a seasoned doctor and loving grandmother can, be careful. Emotions are fragile right now. Don't push anyone too far. A tender moment with Sarah and Victoria as this tense conversation fades into the background. Sarah Horton arrives in the square, her baby daughter Victoria bundled in her pram. The tone softens. Brady greets her kindly, and when Sarah says she's there for lunch, Brady insists on treating them. He smiles warmly, offering to go inside and get them a table. It's a small act of kindness, but one that speaks volumes. While Brady heads inside, Sarah and Marlena pause for a quiet conversation. Sarah shares an update: her blood test results came back normal. Her tone is casual, but her eyes search Marlena's face for support. Marlena, professional yet maternal, nods. Sarah reassures her, you can stop by any time, either as my doctor or as a friend. Marlena smiles gently, touched by the offer. Then she says goodbye, giving them space to enjoy their lunch. Comfort over coffee, Brady opens up inside the pub. Brady and Sarah sit together while baby Victoria sits nearby in her stroller. For a few moments, everything feels calm, even normal. The clinking of coffee cups, the hum of conversation, the smell of fresh bread in the air. But the topic of Rachel is never far behind. Sarah asks gently, how is she doing? Brady sighs, but his expression softens. Better, he says. Spending the night with Marlena helped. She seemed calmer this morning. There's a long pause. Sarah reaches across the table to touch his hand. She's lucky to have you. Brady doesn't answer. He looks over at Victoria, then out the window toward the square where he left Marlena standing just moments ago. He knows this story isn't over. Not by a long shot. What comes next for Rachel? Rachel Black is still a child. But she has already seen and felt things no child should ever have to carry. As Brady and Marlena continue to piece together what she knows, and what she might be hiding, the pressure mounts. The question remains, who really shot EJ DiMera? Was it a crime of confusion? Of fear? Or was it an accident, born not of malice, but of emotional instability? Whatever the answer, Rachel needs love, understanding, and guidance now more than ever. Final thoughts. Family, forgiveness, and fragile truths for viewers who followed the Horton, DiMera, and Black families through decades of love and loss. This storyline feels deeply familiar, and deeply human. It reminds us that no matter how old we get, or how many stories we've lived through, family secrets still have the power to shake us. And truth, however painful, must come to light. As Marlena continues to fight for her granddaughter's mental well-being, and Brady balances being a father with facing the ghosts of the past, Days of Our Lives once again delivers what it always has, a reflection of our own deepest struggles, played out on the streets of Salem. Stay tuned. The truth is coming. And it may change everything.